my girl Adria on this week Flippinar on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube live. Says we're not webinars now streaming on YouTube. Okay, good. All right. Live. Says we're not webinars now streaming on YouTube. Okay, good. All right, so let me grab the link here and get it over to Flippinar.com so you all can start loading your questions if you want. And we can start to rock for this week's Flippinar. How's it going, AP? All right.
I'm all right. I'm all right.
I hear myself. All right, so let me grab the link here and get it over to Flippinar.com so you all can start loading your questions if you want. That's you or me? And we can...
That's not...
start to rock.
That's me.
Okay.
Yep.
Hey, by the way, people, I just uploaded a video. Some of y'all may need it, some may not. But if you're seeing this for the first time, first introduction to me, I'll probably post it on this in the comment section of this video. But I uploaded a new video today, a couple hours ago, on what is wholesaling houses. So it's basically a brief description. I've done others like that, so I like to do one every couple of years. Better video quality, hopefully better audio quality. So, but again, so I just wanted to just make you aware of that. So check it out. Again, I'll place it in the comments after this is over, but it's called What is Wholesaling Houses for those that don't know or still may not be sure. It's a short video, so I get right to it. But again, we are live this week on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. Please load your questions. We would appreciate it if you somewhat tell us what your first name is, because some handles we can't pronounce, along with where you possibly are from. So let's rock. We got any questions, AP, or you want to make some acknowledgments on where people are located? Or
oh yeah, always giving shout outs. We got Dallas, San Francisco Bay, Fort Worth, Texas, Virginia. Thank you, Off-Roader, always coming with the compliments. Houston, Texas, Kansas City, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Philadelphia. Oh my goodness, coast to coast. How y'all doing, guys? I'm gonna go ahead and jump right into YouTube questions. And I have a different setup here, so let me know if it's awkward me going up and down. Just putting it out there. But we'll start with, Mariko says this is becoming somewhat of a ritual. I hope so. Every Thursday.
That's what's up.
Joe from Charlotte asks, how do you typically close a deal with out-of-state sellers and buyers? Do I have to be present?
That's preferable, especially if both of them are out of state. That's one of those great deals there, because everything is done through wire transfer, email, and possibly even fax. But simply put, if the seller is out of town, then again, what'll happen is that depending on what title company or closing attorney you're using, they'll email over the documents or fax them over or overnight them, depending on the person's technology availability. Most people at least have email now. Even my mom has email, so everybody got it now. So they email it over, they print it out, they sign it, and sometimes they'll just let them do a DocuSign or something similar, and they email the documents back. So if the buyer's there in your town, they just need to bring in the funds, or whether through wire or how they're going to pay with the check or cashier's check. They sign the documents, boom, the house is there and you get paid. Seller, the money is wired to them. Now, if both seller and buyer are out of town, which I've never experienced that personally, but I'm sure that exists, then same thing. It's just everything will be handled through email, either overnight, fax, or actual. Those are three options. So boom, it's just structuring it depending on who's where. Those are easy though, because the seller and the buyer don't, in most cases, never meet. So not that that prevents you from doing a deal, it just makes it a little easier.
All right, you heard that. All right, still got people checking in. Philadelphia, Long Island, Choctaw, Alabama. All right.
Oh wow, okay. Where is Choctaw, Alabama at? Is that, what is that near? What county is that in?
I don't know. That way, north.
And ask Choctaw, Alabama. What is that near? I'm pretty sure I know where it is, but what is that near? I know you all other people don't care, but you know, whatever. So what we got?
Sydney. That would be Sydney. Sydney, let us know what county you're in. Orlando, Austin, Hollywood, Florida, Northern Carolina, Arkansas, Tennessee, Atlanta, Boston. Oh my gosh. Okay, good deal. Reaching a lot of places. Mariko on YouTube, when dealing with a hard lender and they ask how much you're seeking to borrow, do I add repair costs plus price of the property? So for instance, property 150K, repairs 20K. So I ask for 170.
Yeah, whenever you're dealing with a hard money lender, I guess that's what he meant.
Yes.
Yeah, you have to, the price of the property, the repair cost, and depending on who you're dealing with, they may even roll into the loan the closing costs. That doesn't exist as much as it used to be a few years back. But yeah, so yeah, you got it. Unless you want to, unless you have the repair cost yourself, that you're going to fund it yourself or whatever to save on some interest. But to answer your question, yes.
Okay. We got Zenobia, her first time here. Welcome. Mike Macklin says, Mike back for the third week in a row. Part of his weekly routine now, but let's see here. Oh, he just says he's ready to learn and get around folks looking to make it happen. All right. So LA real estate investors, YouTube, what does your contract look like when co-wholesaling?
We answer this every week, don't we?
Yeah.
I don't really have a co-wholesaling contract. I treat it the same as if I'm dealing with a seller or a buyer. If it's my deal and I have a contract with the seller, then the other wholesaler, we're either going to agree to split the amount of what's being made by bringing a buyer to the table, or I give him a price and whatever he makes above that. So still just going to use normal purchase and sales agreements. That's why I do it, and it's no different, So hopefully that makes sense.
All right. Melanie Dixon asks, can I wholesale houses on the MLS? Just starting out. Should I go for off-market deals instead?
Well, yes, you can wholesale houses from MLS, but understanding you're playing in the realtor's world at that point, and the rules are going to be a little different. You're going to lose some control of your deal. And the way wholesaling works well and smoothly is that you have control over the seller. But when you inject a realtor into the situation, you lose some of that because the realtor is going to have their interest in play also. They'll say, well, I'm working for my client. I got their client. Yeah, but they got to pay their bills. That's what's most important first. And the realtor tell me anything different, they blowing smoke up your what. So with that being said, normally realtor is going to want earnest money, $500,000 or more, and then proof of funds. So if you could jump through those hurdles, then yeah. Another thing is you're going to have to make sure that you've worked out being able to show the property. That's going to be very important also.
All right. Steve James on Facebook asks, what do I say to a cash buyer when wanting to assign the contract?
You just let them know that you're in wholesale. If they're interested in your property, they won't care. And if they do, that's someone you don't want to deal with anyway. One of the great things about this business is that either they're going to do it your way or next. It's that simple. I know you don't know, and that's why you're here, but I'm just making that clear to you. You don't want to deal with people that, especially on the buyer side, because that's about building relationships. They know you're not doing it for free. So initially, whenever they call you about a property, you don't really get into that you're wholesaling, but it's going to come up at some point and normally fairly soon within the transaction. But you first want to, what's their level of interest before you go into that. I'm wholesaling and all of that. So that's the first thing.
All right. Texas on YouTube. After placing 100 bandit signs, how many calls do you usually get per 100 signs?
You know what? Just from me doing it a lot more so than I have done over the recent past, seems like the threshold to really get a number of calls coming in daily is really over 150. 100 is good now, but it all depends on how effective you're putting them out and how many are still up, so that has to go into play also. All bandit signs put outers are not equal, as far as how you place them and the time that they stay up. So those things factor. But 100 is a good number. I just wouldn't, if this is your first time putting out signs, I wouldn't just go crazy with all 100. I'll test 25, wait a week, see how many of those are up, test another 25, and so on, and you build off of that. Now, understand, when you order that first 100 signs, you might as well have your mind, whatever your budget will allow, be ready to go ahead and start ordering another 100, in reality, because you're going to always, if you're going to use that as a form of marketing, hopefully you can get a deal out of that first 100, understand that you're going to always be ordering signs. So, and they're so inexpensive now compared to when I started, because you can get 200 signs for less than $200 now, one color, 9x24 horizontal flutes shipped to your door. So one color.
All right. Just Sydney answered, Choctaw County is 45 minutes from Meridian.
Yeah, she said Choctaw, Alabama. Or did you read it wrong? I know what Choctaw.
No, she put Choctaw, Alabama, but Choctaw, Alabama's in Choctaw County.
I didn't know there was a Choctaw, Alabama. All right. So that's where I'm from. I'm from. Okay. I know you guys don't care, but Choctaw is there, and the county that I'm from is Washington. So whoever you are, I'm from Milry. So boom.
I know what I said.
This person knows where it is. I can assure you, they know where it is. So that's what's up.
Well, it's a scorched grits. It's a sweet water. It's a boga Cheeto. We got a bunch of names.
Yeah, but anyway, but Meridian, I'm down there a lot.
All right, Tyran Wilson on YouTube from Riverdale, Georgia, home of the Dirty Birds. Good evening, guys. How many homes can a person wholesale without taxes being required to pay in my name and not an LLC? I can tell you that one. Consult with your.
Well, at the end of the day, seek out a CPA on that. But if you do one deal in your name, so what? All right. So you pay a little bit more tax than you would in the LLC. So what? Okay. If you have the money to start where you can, get an LLC in motion and you can get your marketing, education, whatever, and it doesn't affect your budget or getting started, then roll with it off the top. But if you got to choose between getting your phone to ring or doing the LLC first, no, get your phone to ring. Then after you do the first deal, then you get your LLC. That's the way I would recommend. You can do however you want to, but that's what I recommend.
All right. Cindy said y'all might be cousins.
That was what's her name?
Sydney.
Oh, okay. All right.
On Instagram, Breezy Shamilton says potential deal alert. Hope all is well. I don't have earnest money for this deal that seller wants. Just want to know if I have to show buyer contract before they show me proof of funds.
Well, no, you don't, but you need to give more information on what the seller is wanting and what type of earnest money are you talking about. It's rare, but obviously anything can happen. It's most sellers, a motivated seller on a deal that's going to be a great deal, earnest money really normally not even an issue. But sometimes that may be the case, but normally they just don't go together. So you have to give us some details on the deal before I can sort of help you with that. So.
All right. Sticking with Instagram, how can a wholesaler benefit from an agent calling him and wanting to work based off of a bandit sign?
agents are having their mind, I can send you listings, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, that would have been good years ago before this thing was invented that we're on right now, which is called the internet. But everything that they can send you, you already have access to for free. They have this beautiful website called Zillow, another one actually called Realtor.com, Trulia, HomeSnap, ePraisal. All of their listings are on those sites already, especially Zillow. So it's not like they can really add a benefit unless they have a pocket listing, something that hasn't hit MLS, then yeah, if they do a lot of those, then yeah, they could be a benefit to you. But other than that, I guess they could send you some expired listing or something. But the thing about an agent, they don't have the patience normally to work with you to wait on probably the first transaction. They'll normally stop answering your calls and your text messages. You know what I'm saying? So, but you know, you can give it a shot, but I'm just telling you what their expectations are. May not benefit you unless they can do some things, like I said, expired listings, or if they have some pocket listings or whatever. So, because it's not like they're going to send you something from MLS that you can't pull yourself. So why end up paying them a commission on something that you could have, you know, done yourself? That makes sense, Adrian?
It makes perfect sense.
Okay, thank you very much.
You're welcome. Colt Jr. on Instagram says, this was asked last week, but we didn't get a clear answer because she didn't have an owed amount. Question was, can a wholesaler get a deal out of a house the owner owes on? Can you do an example?
Yeah. I got one I'm working on right now. Seller owes, she says 38. We did a contract for like 40. It's probably worth about 100. So the 40 works for me. Needs some repairs, probably about, probably we'll just say about 10 in repairs or whatever. So we're at 50 grand right there, still, you know, 50% of the ARB. So with them owing 40 and then, 38, and the number that I need was 40, which that's what she wants. She just wants a couple of $1,000 walking away from closing. That number works for me. But if she owes 65 and my number needs to be 40, that doesn't work. She owes more than the price that I need for the deal to work. I hope that's what she was asking.
I do believe it was. I think last week the commenter just didn't have. She had the how much she wanted for, but not how much the owner actually owed. Facebook, Theo says his city is cracking down on bandit signs. Should he be worried? And what is your best marketing substitute? And he's from San Antonio.
Well, FindSellers.net teaches you how to take a absentee list and look for phone numbers. That's a great substitute. It's very inexpensive. You can generate leads quickly. You have to have some patience. You got to be a little gator. You got to be persistent. But for a couple of $100, you can get 1,000 names. As far as absentee owners, probably be able to pull anywhere from 200 to 300 phone numbers from that list. Have at it. If you want to learn how to do that, FindSellers.net, or just order the full course. Not selling a course or anything, but I'm answering your question.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Wink, wink. The Light Master, with a vacant property, if you can't gain access inside the house, what should you do?
You mean you've already spoken with the seller? You've dealt with the seller already? If you've already dealt with the seller, then I'm, you leaving out some parts here. Well, let me just give you the scenarios. Assuming that you're already dealing with a seller and you have it under contract, but they won't give you a key, then you just have to make them understand that, you're going to have partners / contractors come out, and, their availability is going to be important a few times. So, but that's also why it's important that you video the property so you won't waste a lot of time with tire kickers. That's going to happen anyway, but it'll reduce it. So you just have to work through it if they won't provide a key. But if you're talking about a vacant house and you haven't even talked to the owner or whatever, then, that's nothing. You can't do anything until you deal with the owner and they give you access.
All right. Royston, you say on YouTube you can't hear. Try refreshing your screen because no one else has said that they're having difficulty hearing us on there. So check that and see if that helps, guy, and let me know. Let's see here. Sticking on Facebook, Jake Copeland. Greetings to you all. I'm in the Atlanta, Georgia market, and I've been watching your videos for a month or so now. I'm ready to take that plunge and get out in the world of wholesaling. I've been studying other material. Uh-oh. Let's see here. But yours is the best. I'm sure you've been a blessing to so many. My only thing is fear, but I'll just focus on the end results. Shout out to Dolomite and Hueytown. God bless.
Oh,
Oh,
that's what's happening, man. D-Town and H-Town, right? The suburbs of Birmingham, surrounding areas. But yeah, man, that fear factor, man, I understand it, but you got to be Gator. Understand that another one of the great things about this business, if you make a mistake, it doesn't just put you in the poorhouse financially. So if you make a mistake, you get a little egg on your face. But as I have coined this phrase, egg on your face is free. But that experience that you gain from whatever happens, is going to be more valuable than anything that I can teach you.
all right. I hope you got that, Jake. Redrick on Facebook asked, what is the best way to work a realtor on REO deals?
Oh, we're at 100 on YouTube. I don't think we've ever reached that before. 100. We 100. So what was the question again? My bad.
What is the best way to work a realtor on REO deals? I guess work with a realtor.
I guess I mean work with the realtor. Well, again, we sort of answered that before, but I'll go into it now. You added another layer to this. Before the question was how to work with a realtor, blah, blah, blah. If a pro, the MLS, can you do deals off of MLS, which means it's listed with a realtor. So the same thing with REOs. Those are listed on MLS. Now you've added another layer because now you got a bank involved. They're not going to allow you to assign and or to double close. So you're going to have some form of transactional funding or being able to buy it yourself, which defeats the whole purpose of wholesaling. But again, so you got the lender to deal with, but then the agent you have to deal with because they're going to want $1,000 earnest money. Maybe you can get away with 500 and proof of funds. Those things can be maneuvered around, but again, you have to just know what you're doing and understand that the realtor has their interest at heart first. So you have to take that in consideration. You don't want to use your own realtor. You want to contact the listing realtor directly so you can give them an opportunity to keep 100% of the commission. They call that double dipping. So boom. So hopefully I answered that. Oh, I got this.
All right, Golden State buyers. It's not difficult, Redrick. He says it sounds difficult, the response to dealing with the realtor on those deals.
It is a little difficult. I don't want you to be discouraged in doing it, period. But I'm just letting you know it's a lot easier dealing with private owners. There's just you and them.
All right, YouTube. Hey, Flipman, do you have any tips for buying properties in rural areas? I have 3 houses under contract and seems hard to find a buyer. Might have one I'm working on. I appreciate any advice.
Well, when you say a rural area, is it just miles away from a large city, or is it just outside of a large city? Because that will matter. Now, if it's in a rural area like the town that I'm from, it may be difficult finding a buyer for it. So just keep that in mind. And it will depend on the price of the property and so on, but it may be a little difficult finding a buyer for it. I think I need some juice here.
Plug it in.
Uh-oh.
Caressa Harden on YouTube. If you hear me, your question is missing a few details, love. If there's anything that's missing, let me know, and I'll be sure to ask it. I'll come back around to it. Let's see here. Plugging up?
Yeah, I think I need to plug some juice in. I don't see the end part of it. Oh. Hold on, people. We'll have a serious technical difficulty here if I don't I don't plug this in, so hold on.
All right, guys, let's see here. Oh, Royston, you still say you can't hear. Let's see here.
I don't know what this problem is then.
Ear equals square. Anyone else having any difficulties? Now would be the time. I guess we can make some adjustments while we go. Because we got a moment. Last week it was me that had the technical difficulties, you know.
But I don't normally have no technical difficulties. Here we go. Mm-hmm. I couldn't find the
power cord.
Yeah, I couldn't find the end of it. Oh man. Mm. There we go.
Flash.
Oh boy. There you go.
All right.
Oh man. What's the name? Okay.
Instagram.
Yeah, my Instagram got twisted around stuff.
All right. You got yourself together. I'm
good. I'm super tight.
All right, Shaq. That's right. We back live now. Let's see here. I'm going back to Carissa's question. I scrolled down a little bit, so I got to get back to it. Her question was about finding the ARV. She says she has a property. They won't accept anything less than $175K. The house is in perfect condition: roof, air unit, hot water tank, floor, and the roof. She says, what is an estimate on ARV? Would you say 5 or 10,000?
Wait a minute, I'm still without no juice here. Hold on a second.
Breezy, I see you on Instagram. I logged off for a second, so if it was a follow-up question, post it again. Yours was in regards to the proof of funds. Question is at the top. Okay, let's see here. You got it together now?
I think so.
We'll find out the hard way.
Yeah, we'll find out the hard way.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm sure I got any juice plugged. Down 8%.
Which one is that?
It's the YouTube one.
Oh, the most important one. Ah! And he's out. It's just me and you guys. All right. Now I can tell you all the... You accidentally deleted your post, Zenobia. Zenobia, you got time. We'll have to do an extended show tonight. So just post it again. Let's see here. Yep, he's gone, Zenobia. Okay, so we're going to go to sports. What about that Kyrie trade? Anybody got any thoughts on that? Brittany will be okay. I wouldn't answer the questions, but I'm so far removed from this. I've been told you something wrong, and I get in trouble for that. He's still on YouTube. Well, he's still on Facebook. Y'all who are on Facebook can probably still see him. Unfortunately, I don't have my sound on Facebook, so I can't hear him there. Let's see here. Let's see here. I'm going to go through these and see. We're just going to answer some that we can, that I can. Let's see here. Mike Mackling, you asked, trying to remember the document you mentioned when outlining how everyone will get paid once you find a seller and a buyer. I'm going to give you Tyrone's typical answer for that. There's a video for it on the documentation on how to write out who gets what, who has to pay what, who gets what the difference is, and how much you get paid. That'll just be written out on a separate sheet of paper. There's nothing, no rocket science to that. That part I do know. Just simple addition and subtraction. Top number, bottom number, everybody gets the check. Let's see here. The Tide. Who asked him about Crimson Tide? No, we're not going to answer that. Does he teach virtual wholesale? That would be a question for him, Brittany. You would have to message him. I want to say yay, nay, but Warriors, we were talking about Kyrie there, Mariko. Yes, Dominique, a bad deal for Boston. You're correct. I do agree. I don't think they should have let go of Isaiah Thomas. Hold on, guys. Yes, sir.
Oh, what happened, man?
I don't know what you did. You're still on Facebook, and I'm talking to these guys here. I'm answering questions. You want to? No, that's not going to work.
It ain't gonna work. So it's still live on YouTube?
Yeah, it's still live on YouTube. We're talking about, huh?
You can still see me?
I cannot see you. We cannot see you. No.
Oh, okay. Thanks, so. I can get it.
All right. Well, yeah, because I don't think I can get you loud enough to, they say I should just ask you the questions, but you guys can't hear him. Let's see here. Say something, Ty.
Give me a second. I'm going to get back on. Hold on.
No, Shaq, that's not what happened. His computer completely died. So it's not just disconnecting and going live again. Paul, you can hear him. That's Royce say, spend that money and get you something new.
All this shit new.
Oh, they're all saying they can hear you just fine. So while you work on that, I'm actually going to go ahead and ask you a question. You ready? Can you do both?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah.
All right. Let's see here. As soon as me and the seller agree on a price, I send them your one-page contract. Then they start asking for more. Should I pass on the deal?
They talking about the earnest money?
No, the seller is asking for more money after they've signed the contract.
Oh, yeah. If they're talking like that, yeah, you want to pass on that. You want to pass on that.
All right, let's see here. Nichols, you heard that. So that's the deal you want to pass. Let's see. Have you had any situations where the seller found out you made a profit from the deal, and how did you deal with it?
That was nothing that I worried about.
Hold on, you back twice.
Okay.
All right. I don't have your video, but they can hear you on YouTube now.
Okay. Oh, I just need to hit my video. Boom.
Boom.
Okay. All right, so we back on YouTube?
Yeah.
All right. Hey. Hey.
Ooh, technical difficulties. We need one of those, the little rainbow color screen to go, and, broadcasting has ended, all that stuff. Yeah, Joe, we could have talked about the fight. Place your wagers. I'm taking bets, paying 10-1. Who you got? We're gonna book you some stuff on the other side.
Hey, why they ain't showing me on YouTube? They can hear me?
Can y'all hear Ty? They see you. They say they see you. Can you hear him?
Okay, good. Well, we're good then. Let's roll. Let's rock then. My bad. Let me go back live here on Instagram.
All right. They said yes. All right, guys, we apologize for the technical delays. I will make sure I scroll back up to the top and ask any questions that I was randomly skipping while BSing my way through the silence. And it wasn't my fault this time. All right, so everybody's under the same consensus. They say they can see you and hear you. Let's roll with it. Is it possible to go a month without closing a deal?
Oh, yes. But, you know, if you're doing what you're supposed to do, it'll snowball into the next month. But to answer your question, yeah, most definitely.
Okay, let's see here. Sorry, guys, I'm scrolling up and trying to make sure I don't double ask. Flip, what normal paperwork should I expect during closing from the title company or attorneys requiring my signature? And how long should I keep any paperwork from my deals?
Well, if it were me, I would keep my, file, forever, for the most part. Those are your records of what you're doing. So you want to file those away just like taxes or anything else. That's what businesses do. You keep track of your records.
All right. Everybody get your pen and paper. This is going to be a note-taking question. Bree Scott on Facebook says, hello. I absolutely love your videos and have absorbed so much useful information. Would you mind running down the list of website names real estate agents use for MLS?
Oh, Zillow. Well, the main one is Zillow. Realtor.com, obviously. And I think Trulia either is in association with Zillow or that's one of Zillow companies. So, those are it. That's all you need. It's probably more, obviously, but those are the ones. Those are the only ones you need. Really, Zillow is the only one you need. It's a monster. It's the Amazon of real estate. It's the Google of real estate. It's the Facebook of real estate. So it's the monster. And for residential now.
All right. Caressa's question was, she has a property, they won't accept anything less than 175K. The house is in perfect condition, the roof, air unit, hot water tank, floor, and a new roof. I've said it twice every time. What is an estimate on ARV? Would you say 5 or 10,000?
I would just say 5. ARV, you're confusing what ARV means. Don't be misled by the phrase after repair value. It means after it is repaired, not what the repair costs are. After it is repaired, what is the value after repair value? Meaning, what will the house appraise for in excellent condition? If the repairs are 5,000, what is the actual ARV? What will the house appraise for in excellent condition? We have to know that.
Okay. Mystery 19, YouTube. How do I word asking the seller to sign the purchase agreement? Do I say, can you fill out this contract? Do I say, can you fill out this agreement? What verbiage do you use when sliding in that piece of paper?
It depends on how I'm giving it to them. But if it's a situation after we've agreed on the price and I've taken a look at the property and videoed it in most cases, in all cases, then I'm going to ask them, what's their email address? It's rare people don't have that. If they say they don't, then I'll write it up and meet them somewhere and put it in their hands, but they understand that that's the process. You have to go through, you start with a contract to ensure you're not wasting your time whenever you start the process of actually buying something. So it's no big deal. You're overthinking it. It's no big deal. And if they don't want to sign a contract, you don't have a deal. You know what I'm saying? You can't do anything without that. You don't have a deal if they don't want to do that.
Gotta have the contract, guys. BEG Beg on YouTube says, Ty, thanks for all of your free information. Need your help on if I have a deal. All right, this is is it a deal question. After repair value 280. Home needs lots of work, including a new roof. He offered 80, but the seller wants 134. Can I go to 90?
Oh, we're not live on Facebook. Hold on, let me get back live on Facebook again. My bad.
You know what? I didn't even pay attention to that.
Well,
Poor
no.
producer I am.
Yeah, yes, you are.
Actually, mine is flashing live.
We normally go pretty smooth here, but you know, it's cool. It's live, no studio here, so bear with us. So we're back live on Facebook here, so.
And the Instagram users, I see y'all are slowly coming back into the room. Go ahead and post that question back. I know there was one question that I was supposed to get to when we were having a little difficulties.
Okay, so we're back good on Facebook. So, all right. So, so what was the question again?
280 is the after repair value. Needs lots of work on it, including a new roof. He offered 80. The owner said came back with 134. He's asking, can he go to 90?
Wow, you say the ARV is 280?
Correct.
And he can get it for 134?
Correct.
Deal. Even with 50 grand in repairs, that's still 100K in equity. Deal.
Deal. I need a deal.
Deal. Hey, it has to be just, oh man, deal. Deal at 130. Whatever he said. What did he say? 135, 130?
134.
Both of them work. Deal.
All right, there you have it. Let's see here. That was for BEG on YouTube. Let's see here. Texas Twin, what are the best days to put out signs? Do you put them out daily or just on the weekends?
I actually put them out daily. Me and my boy Clarence, I pick him up. He'll text me every morning, are we working today? So 3 or 4 days out of the week, I pick him up for about 3 hours. And we put them out now. I don't even put them out on Saturday and Sunday, but I have. So the best days are actually early Sunday morning first, early Saturday morning, but I put them out through the week, you know, so to answer your question.
All right. Louis B-Tone on Instagram to answer your question. Yes, I haven't in a while, but I'm working on it. All right. Let's see here. Yep, I'm gonna keep that private. Trio Success. Hey, Flipman, how do you feel about mobile homes? I have a seller. The ARV is 30K, and I'm trying to get it for 3,500. It's like a box on wheels. I'm afraid that if I get it under contract, I won't find a buyer.
Well, with mobile homes, they're like cars, automobiles. They depreciate every second, you know, just like an automobile. As soon as you buy it, it starts to go down in value. So with mobile homes, you know, the owner has title in hand. So the traditional way of wholesaling like you will a house, because you have to go through a process with a house to buy it. Whereas with a mobile home, someone shows up with a cash and do a bill of sale, sign the title, boom, it's theirs. They don't need you. So it's all about timing. So in most cases, you're going to probably have to end up buying it first in some form or fashion. So it's not going to be as cut. You can do those a lot faster, but just the traditional way of wholesaling it, unless you have a good timing where the seller will give you access to the property and the buyer, you can keep them apart. It's a must you keep them apart, then boom. But as far as how you evaluate one, you need to know the year it's built, who's the manufacturer, the size, the number of bedrooms, the bath, obviously the condition. Does it need to be moved or can it stay on the same lot? Is land included? All of those will factor in. Now to get an actual value on the property, as far as the mobile home, the thing you could do is call some mobile home dealers, especially some used mobile home dealers. Normally the ones that sell new, they'll sell used also. and just let them know that you will occasionally come across those. You just need to contact them, see if they're, number one, interested in what they'll be willing to pay for it if you give them some information about the property. So boom.
On Facebook, Theory wants to know yellow letters versus postcards. What works best?
Well, in my opinion, yellow letters, if I have to choose between the two, if it's done the right way, because the most difficult thing about direct mail, especially now, so much stuff out there, people doing it or whatever, sellers I talk to just all the time, they just got and they get them all the time, postcards from multiple, quote unquote buyers or whatever. So, but yellow letters increases your chances of your message being read. As a direct mail campaign, that's the only thing you can do is try to increase the percentage of people reading your mail and just let the numbers take over from there.
All right. Lewis on Instagram. Is it easy to wholesale a house on someone else's property? They like to stay up to date on who stays on their land.
Is it easier to wholesale? I don't understand the question.
Well, there's a home that I guess a person owns, but they don't own the land. Like maybe it's family property and they let them put a house there.
Oh, well, that house is going to have to be moved then.
Okay.
So that gets into a whole nother ball of wax. So no, so they technically don't have a wholesalable property because the land is the lot that it's sitting on doesn't come with it. Now you're just buying lumber, materials, used materials or whatever, because the house will have to be moved. And that gets into a whole nother ball game that I'm not familiar with.
All right. Mike Macklin says he's trying to remember the documents you mentioned when outlining how everyone will get paid once you find a seller and a buyer.
It's called a closing detail sheet. It is what I call it. It's just something I made up over the years. It just simplifies who gets paid what, who's paying what as far as closing costs. What's in it, I get text messages all the time. People say, will you send me a copy or whatever? I'm not going to do that. It's in the course. But I tell people what's in it, so just create your own. It's not complicated. Seller's name, who's the seller, who's the buyer, the price, which will be based on the seller's contract, obviously the address, assignment fee paid, $12,000 to Tyrone Taylor from buyer. If earnest money has been given already, you may want to put that in parentheses. And then closing costs paid by buyer or whatever you all negotiate. That's the only thing that needs to be in. And then obviously your contact information with any questions or comments.
All right. I tried to answer that one while you were off, and I think I did, but I just didn't give as many details. How'd I do, y'all? Breezy asked, do I have to show a buyer that I have a property under contract if they're interested before they show me the proof of funds and earnest money?
Well, I don't ever ask buyers for proof of funds. Conversation tells me everything I need to know. As far as the earnest money, they're going to have to do that. Some will put it in your hands. Some will, obviously, most will probably want an attorney or a title company to hold it. If I can verify that's good enough for me, because I'm not going to give them that much time to close. So it doesn't matter proof of funds or not. I'm not going to give them that much time to close. When I say that, I mean like 10 days, not 10 business days, but 10 days. That's normally going to be the max that I give someone to close. So proof of funds is not that important. But you can do however you want to. I'm just telling you, for me, it's not that important.
Okay. Someone asked, will this be archived? Yes. All videos are archived. It'll be available on YouTube about 15, maybe not even that long after the video was done. You can go back and watch it 1,000 times if you want to.
Yeah, share it. Let others watch it 1,000 times. Share the video. Send out the link. Tweet it. Instagram, Facebook, here on YouTube. Share it. Email it. Text it to people. We'll learn something.
Okay. James wants to know how effective is driving for dollars.
Well, I was talking to a cat yesterday out of Houston before, but he kept dwelling on it. I was like, man, that is a way to find deals, but it's definitely not the most efficient and most effective way of finding deals. It's something that if you don't have money to for bandit signs or whatever, then yeah, you're going to spend the gas money driving around and looking. And then it goes to this next phase of researching the properties. And you know, that's going to be a Google search away, county website, and so on. So then you got to reach out to the owners, and hopefully you can reach them, and then hopefully they'll want to sell. Then hopefully they'll sell at a price that'll work for you. But yeah, it's a way to find deals. It's not the most effective way by no means, but it's definitely a way to find deals.
Okay, on Facebook, Mr. Pitt wants to know, what is your best way of doing creative financing on a deal?
The best way of doing creative financing?
Yes.
You can go all over the place with that because it'll depend on the situation with the seller and what they're willing to accept. You know, obviously you want to do no money down in any situation and being able to, well, I guess at the end, what's your end goal with the property? You're going to rent it out, you're going to do lease option. Well, what are you going to do with the property? So that factors in as far as what type of creative financing you do on the property. You know, it's just too many factors that would have to be known in order for me to give you an answer on that.
All right. Is it a deal? Hey, Flip Man, if I have a seller who owes $140K on a home and is worth $230K, can I get a deal out of this?
That's a thin deal. That's $90K. That ain't nothing to sneeze at. You'd have to get it at, you know, what they owe on it, and it can't need that many repairs at all. So yeah, that could be a possible deal. But again, you couldn't need that many repairs on it at all on a deal like that.
Okay. Have you had any testimonials from the Bay Area market in California?
Not at this point.
Okay. Sydney asks, do sellers ever want you to make them an offer on their property just to see what they can get? I'm finding that these sellers have multiple offers and they just want the highest. How do I handle?
Well, I guess what sellers are you targeting? Are you targeting for sale by owners or these people that are calling you from your marketing? You're going to have some competition. I had a lady call me today. They flew here from Colorado to try to, you know, look into a property that her mother-in-law, husband's mom left them, and she wants me to make an offer. She gave me a price of what one investor spoke to her and gave her. And so I normally don't like to do that. I normally tell them if it doesn't work out for me, give me a call, but then I may make an offer or whatever. But normally I don't like to get into a competition with people knowingly. Sometimes I'm probably in it, don't know it, but knowingly, I don't like to be in a bidding war with a seller. Occasionally I'll do it, but again, I'll have to know where these leads are coming from. Are these properties that are for sale online, or is something you did it come from your marketing? Because that'll factor in on how I would answer that.
All right. Dave Elbay, in a commercial triple N wholesale deal, when I assign the contract for a price, the price represents the purchase of the property for whatever lease term or outright purchase of the property.
Read that again.
In a commercial triple N wholesale deal.
Flippinars, yeah.
When I assign the contract for a price, the price represents what, basically? The purchase of the property for whatever the lease term, or does it represent the outright purchase of the property?
Well, what you're doing, you'll have it on a contract at one price. We'll just say $500,000. All right. Once you get a commitment from a national retailer, I can't do the math, you know, because we don't have numbers in front of it, but just assuming it increases the value to $900,000, right? Okay. So now you have $400K to play with, and investors buy based on cap rate. What they're used to, depending on the market, excluding Southern California and parts of California and New York City or whatever, Most cap rates range anywhere probably from 5.5 to we'll just say 6 on right under 7% on a brand new lease, a brand new 15 triple net lease. So if you present something to them that they can get around 8 on a 15-year lease, that's just an unbelievable deal. So whatever that spread will be, we'll just say it's 125,000 or 150,000 because at an 8% cap rate. I know this may be Greek to a lot of y'all, but I'm trying to answer this question. So that's where your spread is. You know, whatever that cap rate, that'll be above significantly. 1% is significant in that game. 1% above what their custom or what they normally would get for a similar property. So that's where your money is made.
All right. James on YouTube says, in my area, I've seen new real estate bandit signs covering old ones. It could be the owner covering his own signs or a competitor. How would you deal with competitors covering your signs? Get Gator. That's right.
Yeah, if they get, I'll call them like, man, hey, I'll call them. You know, it's just that simple. If I know that's what they're doing, you know, it's obvious my sign that they cover it. Number one, I'm pulling it down. That's the first thing. But I'll call them and let them know what's up, man. I don't do that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't expect you to do the same. It's enough business out here for everybody. You know, so that's how I handle it. But I've had that to happen, you know, but I just put them out so much. I don't really worry about that, but it doesn't happen that often either. But to answer your question, hopefully I answered your question.
All right. Do you ever need a notary when you're signing your contract?
Sometimes you'll need a notary whenever there's an issue with a title and some additional documents may need to be signed, or it may be as simple as the seller can't come to closing, but they are local and, you know, you want to get the documents over, but in order for the title company or closing attorney to be comfortable with it, it need to be signed with a notary. So it just depends. It's some situations where a notary would be needed.
All right. What's the difference between renting and leasing?
Really nothing. They're really the same thing. Probably what I could probably say would be a similar would be a cake, a waffle and a pancake. They're really the same thing. Now, that's my understanding though. You can Google is a powerful tool. You could probably, it may, you know what, just to think about it, and they really the same thing. They really the same thing. I would like to actually see what the definitions are to see the differences. So someone look that up right quick, maybe.
Well, maybe she wants to know, maybe the difference comes in when you say renting versus leasing to own. Now you have a difference.
Well, it'd be rent to own too. You can say that also.
Oh shoot, you're right. I guess I don't know. This is saying that.
Somebody look it up. That's a good question.
Okay. All right. Ethical question. Who got morals? I'm just kidding. I'm really just kidding. Okay. Do you think wholesaling is ethical in the sense that you're not being 100% transparent with the seller, or am I overthinking it? Would one think the seller is being taken advantage of?
Who is the ethics police? Number one. Number two, the contract says that you're buying it at this price. And why would they be taken advantage of if you all agree on a price and they get what they want out of the deal? Okay. All right. Does it matter where the money comes from? So it's better and ethical if I go to a bank and get the money. That still ain't my money. That's not my money. Right. So if I have a cash buyer that presents the money to close a deal and the seller gets what they want out of the deal, how am I taking advantage of them? Right. You can go in and try to explain wholesaling to me, but check back with me, see how many deals you do. I would love to explain it to them, but just like the people, everybody here, they have questions. and you've been looking into it and studying, you still have tons of questions. Imagine trying to explain this in 5 minutes to someone within 5 minutes, and they're not going to want to do business because they don't understand. So when people don't understand something, then the natural response, which is understandable, is, hey, I don't want to do this deal. I don't want to be involved with this individual. So the contract says you're going to buy the property, but the contract also allows you to assign your rights over from the contract. You know, again, doesn't matter where the money comes from as long as they're getting what they're supposed to get.
I guess that's the ultimate question. Zenobia says she used your one-page contract and only paid the seller $10. She says it works.
You got to get that buyer first.
Yeah, that's one step. That's the step.
But she's taking action though. That's what's happening. That's the hey. You got to start with hey. You got to take a step before you start to run. So that's impressive. So let us know if you get a buyer and close that deal.
Brittany from Las Vegas says, I wanted to know if you use a memorandum of agreement when you wholesale, and how do you feel about using that contract?
I've done that once since I've been doing this in 14 plus years at the date of this Flippinar, and it was a waste then. I panicked and or whatever, thought something was going on that wasn't, or whatever. That's going to be up to the individual on that. I personally don't see a need for it. Understand when that happens, that means the seller and the buyer have to want to go around your back. That's so rare that'll happen. The buyer may want to do it, right? Or the seller may want to do it, but to have both of them wanting to do that, you know, that's rare. But again, you have to do it what you're comfortable with.
All right, going to Instagram. Lewis asks, can I trust a guy selling a buyer's list for $50?
That's a vague question, Lewis. I don't know. Where's the list coming from, man? But Lewis, take that $50, add another 70 to it, and buy you some bandit signs. Don't worry about buyers, man. You find great deals, you'll be able to create your own buyers list quickly.
All right, the syndicator still on Instagram. Ty, I know you have, I'm sorry, I think that's Gabe. Ty, I know you gave us the contract you use between you and the seller. What about the B2C contract? What do you use, and do you also have one for us?
What's his name? What is his name?
The syndicator.
Okay. What you should do, sir? I wish our boy was on here this week. Go to YouTube and do a search for sellers and buyers contract for wholesaling houses. It'll be a previous Flippinar when I was doing it in the old format. I think it's like an hour and 20 minutes or so. Go there and look for that particular video, and it'll break all of that down for you. But to answer the question, it's the same contract. Now, sometimes buyers may want to use a different contract, but the contract that I give away can be used for buyers also. But I have videos here on YouTube to explain that in detail.
All right. Question on Instagram. I told my potential buyer details of the property, and they asked me for the address to check the numbers. Should I trust it because I don't have it under contract yet?
No, you don't have anything. You don't have anything. If you don't have it under contract, and this is the buyer you've dealt with, and you know you can trust, you don't have a deal. So no, you don't want to give them the address. They don't need you anymore.
All right, Laverne Grayson on Facebook. Is it a deal? A wholesaler has a property, 2 units for sale for $68K. The after repair value is $175.
Oof.
Before seeing the house, he needs a POF and EMD with signed contract. How do you do a deal like this? I know about the POF, but do you put down the EMD, and whatever the EMD, your buyer covers that?
Well, again, that's a deal just from the numbers you're giving, assuming the repairs are not that significant. But if man, sellers just don't talk like that. Motivated sellers. Are you sure you're dealing with a motivated seller or another wholesaler? But again, assuming that you are dealing with a seller, if you don't have the proof of funds or you don't have the EMD that's needed to do the deal, it's no different if they gave you a price that didn't work for you. The terms don't allow your resources that you're working with to do a deal.
And he said it was a wholesaler. The wholesaler has the property.
Oh, it's a wholesaler. No, man, you don't. No. I get it because that's where I would handle another wholesaler or whatever. So again, either you're gonna play by his rules or you move on or whatever. Everything's negotiable. You can if you have a buyer ready to go, maybe he may be a little bit more lenient on it or whatever if you could prove that your buyer's ready to go. But other than that, if he doesn't give you an opportunity to do the deal, you just move on. You don't waste a lot of time on it. It's that simple.
Okay, Ty, do you teach virtual wholesale?
It's not anything that I have in a course. If you notice in the videos that I have, maybe only one or two are those dedicated to that because if someone wants to do virtual wholesaling, my first question is always going to be, where do you live? And they may say Houston, Texas. I say, you can't do deals in Houston. All right. So if you can't do deals in a city like that, virtual wholesaler shouldn't even be an option for you. You don't do deals in your backyard. Now I can understand if you're in a small town that I'm from, not where I live now, but where I grew up or whatever, then yeah, you probably, you need to do some virtual wholesaling. It's just not an option for you to do anything but that. But if you're in a decent sized market in which it's a bunch of them, a couple of hundred of them that has a population size enough that you can make a significant living, then virtual wholesaling should be a secondary option for you because you learn the business right there in your backyard and then you can expand outside of it. That's my opinion. Now you can start out virtual wholesaling, making crush it or whatever, but I would like to think that you can do deals locally first before you even consider that. So I would have to know where you're from, but I guess I answered the question. So.
Okay. Brittany and William both have similar questions. Williams is in regards to, I guess, multifamily homes. And Brittany asks, do we have to be a student of yours to send you potential deals in your state or out of state deals?
Well, on residential, yeah, you can send me stuff here in Birmingham, surrounding cities within 50 miles or whatever of Birmingham. Yeah, I would take a look at stuff like that on residential. But stuff outside of my market, it's going to be rare that I would want to look at that stuff. And the way I get those texts every day, man, which is cool because I put my phone number out there. But the way they'll ask me, am I interested in the property or I want to partner on it or whatever. And I'm probably turning down money, but I try to save myself some time because I understand a lot of times people don't understand what really a deal is. And so I sort of stick to only dealing with my students on that level. But with that being said, if it's a great deal, you don't need me. Trust me. Now, if it's a great deal in the ham and you want to send it to the surrounding areas, yeah, I want it, whatever. But if it's in your market, if it's a great deal, you don't need me. It's easy to find a buyer. I know you guys don't believe this, but man, it is easy to find. It is not difficult to hand someone a briefcase full of money. They pay you a little bit of money to make this money. I'll put it like this: they give you 100 to get 140 back. Who wouldn't do that? I'm trying to break it down into just simple terms. And so we'll break it down even terms that everybody can understand. If I give you a $20 bill, I know that $20 bill is going to turn into $35 for me. All right. Is that difficult to get someone to do that? I'm asking you a question, Adrian.
Well, it depends on how long I gotta wait to get my 35.
That's what you're doing when you're holding. I'm giving you a 20, right?
Right.
But okay, and you're gonna make 35, so they're gonna get their 20 back plus 35, so they make that profit or whatever. That's basically what you're doing. So that is not difficult to do. So that's why when people talk about buyers list and all that stuff, it's important. But finding a great deal and if you do you'll mistakenly find a buyer for a deal like that, man. So that's why I always preach to just focus on finding some motivated sellers, negotiate them, putting them under contract, and you will have a happy day one day soon, or at a closing date where you can go either get the money right into your bank account or you go cash a check somewhere, or however you handle it. So focus on a great deal, man. You know, you don't need me if you find a great deal in your market. I ain't turning down no money now, but I'm just saying she asked about partnering and all that. So I sort of have to stay firm on that or whatever. So.
All right. Shaq Smith wants to know, how do I protect myself to make sure I get paid on JV?
On a JV deal?
Yep.
Boy, we get that question a lot, don't we?
Yep.
As I've explained 2 other times on this particular Flippinar, I'm going to treat it just if it's my deal and I have the seller's contract, I'm going to treat the wholesaler just like a buyer. You know, I'm only going to give them a short time to close. I'm going to want earnest money in most cases. But if I'm the one that's looking for a buyer for another wholesaler, he and I are going to have to agree on a price or whatever, or we're going to agree to split. But I'm going to go into a purchase and sales agreement. None of this JV contract crap. You need a purchase and sales agreement in the chain so you are ensured that you get paid. And then your buyer has a contract with you. So it goes from the buyer, well, you can't see my finger, from the buyer to you, the other wholesaler, then the seller. There's no way to get around it.
All right, Edwin, I see your question on Instagram, but we actually answered it from Facebook a little earlier, so you're going to have to review that, Mr. Pitt. Yeah, we asked it in regards to the creative financing.
Yeah, we just answered that one. So, yeah, you can just follow back up probably about maybe about an hour in on this deal.
All right. Off-roader is it a deal? After repair value is $455K. Repairs are about 15. Seller wants 300. That's 140 difference there. Doesn't say how much he offered though. How much would you offer?
Oh, the seller wants 300?
Seller wants 300.
The 445, so you're at 315 basically.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That you know, the 300 probably will work. I would try to get them down to around 250. You're gonna have a home run. You know, it's a pretty good deal, but it'll be a great deal at 250, 275.
But at 300, at the 315.
At 300, 315 repairs, it's probably doable. You know, you could squeeze 10 or 15 grand out of that maybe or whatever. But again, I'll try to get them down to about 250. Ooh, that'll be just beautiful. That'll be a story to tell.
All right, off-roader, there you go. Sounds like you might have a deal. Would you still recommend advertising on YouTube to show a buyer, or just put it on Craigslist?
Well, you're not advertising on YouTube. You're just using YouTube as a tool to be able to show your properties. You can easily send them the link. That's you're not really advertising on YouTube. You're just using it as a tool. Who doesn't have a smartphone? You know what I'm saying? So you can easily text or email that over, mainly text, and they pull it up. Boom, yeah. When can I see it for real? You know, you're just trying to prevent from a lot of tire kickers or people that, you know, they may not be interested. They don't want to deal with the level of repairs or the video sales of property. So you're not really advertising on YouTube. You're just using it as a tool to be able to show your property, just using technology to make it simple for everybody.
All right. This is another question you get asked a lot. So answer it today. Where is the escape clause in your one-page purchase and sales contract?
Well, it's paragraph number 10. Not sure what it says off the top of my head, but basically saying this contract won't extend beyond blah blah blah. So that will suffice. Work for me.
Okay, let's see here. I'm sorry, guys. I'm trying to get some old and some new. Let's see here. I've already asked that one. Let's see here. I've already asked that one. Oh, let's see here. After I get a contract with a seller, what questions should I ask them? When should I ask to contract the property and make an offer? Oh, after I get in contact with the seller, what questions should I ask them? When should I ask to contract the property and make an offer?
Well, initially, you want to gather some general facts about the property. Obviously, the address, if you don't already know it, the number of bedrooms or baths, is it vacant? Do they have a mortgage or any liens or taxes or anything? You may want to ask them when the last time the roof was replaced. How is it heated and cooled? Then you ask them the magic question. Well, you ask them why they're selling, try to understand the level of motivation. And then you ask them the magic question, paying all cash and closing quickly. What is the least amount you will accept? Wait on a response. Regardless of what they say, is that the best you could do? Boom.
All right, team. Y'all will be saying that an awful lot if you follow through with your wholesale training. Paying all cash, closing quickly. It's the least amount you'll take. Boom. Don't say boom, though. Don't say
say Shazam.
Oh, gosh. Don't say that either.
Shazam.
You say that after you get it under contract. No, after you find a buyer. Then you can say Shazam all the way to the bank. Mario Dotson wants to know, what if a home is slightly fire damaged on the inside? What are the dangers in that?
Well, Adrian has one right now that we're trying to get a seller down a little bit more, but playing phone tag. But yeah, those are deals. It just has to be priced right based on repairs. Fire damaged properties take a lot of money to repair. So it'll just boil down to ARV, repair cost, and boom, and price that the seller's asking. But yeah, they can be done.
All right. While doing a walkthrough, when you first meet the seller, do you do a repair checklist of the home to help with closing the seller in the lowest offer? And do you have a list for that?
Do they mean are you trying to nitpick the seller by doing a check?
Well, basically, when the seller walks you through the house, you say, that needs to be fixed. That needs to be fixed, and kind of puts it in their head a little bit.
You can handle that however you want to. That's not my style. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not really going to tell you how to do that. It's just not something I do or whatever. They know what they're dealing with, man. You know what I'm saying? So, but again, now it's rare that I'm going to even go out and look at a property unless the numbers work over the phone. So, but you can still go out there and because of the condition of it, get it down some more or whatever. That's your goal anyway, to get it down some more. You just need a number to know that it's possible a deal whenever you go out there. So, but if you want to use that technique or that tactic, hey, make it happen. It's just not how I roll. I'm just not that aggressive. I've been told I'm passive aggressive, and which can be deemed negative.
You said it, I did.
I've been told by somebody that's supposed to care about me that I'm passive aggressive.
Let's see here. Pablo on Instagram asks, how do I assign an RPA with an agent?
A what?
RPA. An RPA.
I don't even know what that is.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? Is acronym the right word for that?
Acronym is the correct word.
Okay, what is it acronym? What does it mean?
I don't know. Hey, Pablo, if
Is it a
you're
real estate purchase agreement?
probably,
So what was the question again?
how do you assign that with an agent?
How do you, well, real estate is 2 words, so it can't be that. How do you assign that with an agent? Oh, that's the agent. That's basically an agent question again. We've answered the agent question.
Well, we also cut out, so I'm giving them the benefit of the matter.
Okay, I'll answer it again. Understand when you're dealing with a real estate agent that they, number one, they have their interest at heart first. They'll say, hey, I'm working for my client. I'm trying to, blah, blah, get them the best deal. Yeah. The more you sell it for, the more you make. Okay. So you have to keep that in mind first. Now, dealing with an agent, they're going to want earnest money, $500,000, even more. That's part 2. They're going to want proof of funds. All right. So now wholesaling only works well and works consistently is because you have control of the seller, right? So whenever you inject an agent into the deal, you're going to lose some of that control. It can be done, but you're going to lose some of that control. So understand that. So with those parameters in play and then having the access to it where your buyers can see it, as long as you have those things in play, can make that work, then yeah, you can pull those deals off with an agent.
And I think
I wouldn't use another agent. I would deal directly with the listing agent. You want to give them an opportunity to make 100% commission before they split it with the broker, of course.
I think it might have been a real property administrator.
I don't know that. What does that mean? I don't know. I'm not afraid to say I don't know.
Google. Well, actually, that's what I got.
Google is your friend.
My best friend.
Yeah.
Do you send handwritten letters to sellers, and does handwritten work?
Well, that's a form of what technically called yellow letters or whatever. I have done it, not how I do it now when I do it. Right now, I take those lists and produce phone numbers. It's more efficient, cheaper, a way of doing it. But to answer your question, yeah, the handwritten look, it personalizes the letter, or it looks personalized, so that increases your increases the chances of your message being read, which increases your chances of people picking up the phone calling, which increases your chances of doing deals. So yeah, those work better because of the increase in lead generation volume.
All right. Mr. Pitt wants to know, how can I close 1 deal per month?
It's all about marketing, man. You got to get that phone ring. Got to get some action, whether you're calling sellers or sellers calling you. 1 deal a month, that means you probably need to be talking to 1 or 2 sellers per day. So that's 30 to 60 people a month to be able to accomplish that.
Okay. Hundun on Instagram. I have a house under contract for $175. Nothing is wrong with it. What would be ARV? Roof, flooring, cabinets, etc. is in great condition.
He asking what would the ARV be?
Yeah, how y'all getting these contracts not even knowing whether it's a good deal or not? You got to know the ARV before you put it on the contract.
Yeah, I think they get confused about the ARV. I tried to explain it earlier. Don't. It's after repair value. Don't get confused with the repair term in that phrase. It simply means you have to backdoor it. And what I mean by that is you have to know what the house will be worth in excellent condition first, right? Okay, so that's ARV. So what would a house appraise for in excellent condition? That's the same thing as ARV. So if you don't know that, and then the seller gives you a price, a lot of people want to sell, but is it a wholesale deal? Is it a great deal? So you got to know that information first before I could, help you with that, and before you help yourself, obviously. You got to understand that part of it. You have to be able to understand or recognize an actual deal, a great deal.
All right. Tremaine Lewis on Facebook says, with Texas being a non-disclosure state, how would you suggest finding the ARV?
Well, you could produce sales data in Texas. I'm pretty sure I've looked at properties with students before in Texas where I can go to Zillow and sites like that, and they show recent sold or transactions. So I understand it's a non-disclosure state with as far as information about a property, who owns it, and all that stuff. But I think the sales data is still available, if I'm not mistaken. Well, I'm pretty sure of that.
All right. Hun Dun on Instagram, the one with the 175, she says that it's a great deal. The houses in that area are going for 200 to 400. So
that's a wide range, though.
Yeah, because if that
175, what if the house here is a $200,000 house? You gotta compact that a little bit more for where that house is located. But from 200 to 400, which I know those exist, but you got to determine what the ARV is for your house. And normally that's going to be based on just simple square footage, what they're selling for per square foot. Which I have a video on that explains. It's called Top 3 Ways to Top 3 Ways to Calculate ARV. It's one of my more recent videos. So,
all right, Ty, if you came across an apartment complex you wanted to buy or wholesale, would you look up the owner and send them a yellow letter? Would that work? How would you go about it?
Yeah, if something like that, I'm going to send it to them. It wouldn't be a yellow letter, it'd just be a letter. When I say yellow, it's not going to be handwritten. I'll send it to them by FedEx or UPS. Ground will work. I just want them to get that big envelope from one of those outfits. People just normally going to open those.
Okay, let's see here. Flipman, can you run a discount for your step-by-step courses? I asked the questions. I just asked the questions. Don't give me the face. I don't deserve the face.
Oh boy, Lord have mercy. Man, I in reality, I already think it's discounted in reality because I know what everybody else charged, and you all can tell me from what I know, nobody offers what I offer. From the movie American Gangster. That's my favorite part of the movie.
I got a product.
I got a product. Okay. What did he say? What my man say?
We're not going into that. You got a product, it's a good product, and whatever.
It's lower than the competition.
It's
better than the competition. Mm-hmm. I think it is. So, I think it's already discounted, man. I'm not being cute or anything, but I think it's already discounted. It used to be. Now you can see what the prices are now. I still have students. I keep a record of all the students. In my phone, as long as their phone number don't change, and if they do, they let me know it changes, and I can just see what other students paid. I sell it for $197, $347, $497, went up to $995, and then whatever you see it at right now. I'm not gonna quote it here because it'll change. If people see this video a year later, they be like, "I thought you said it was." No. Okay, but anyway, so American Gangster. That's the part of the movie when he had sent for his brothers and he was showing them his operation, and they walking up the stairs going to his trap house, as they say, and his brother was like, "What we selling?" Oh, next question, baby. I think we made up. How much longer we want to go?
We'll do maybe 3 or 4 more questions. And
all right, we good. Okay, let's rock. I'm on your schedule. Let's rock.
Does Ty deal with hedge funds, and how does he feel about hedge funds?
I would love to deal with hedge funds. I've talked to some before. I've never actually dealt with one as for the transaction or whatever. But I would love to if you got that connect. Yeah. Now we're talking about something. You can call me on that if you got that connect. But now just don't have it. I want something that hopefully you've already done business with, or someone that's done business with. But that's a different. Now we're having a different conversation because you're adding something that I hadn't been able to do myself. So to answer your question, no, I've never dealt with a hedge fund before.
There you go. All right, Instagram. Ty, you have a lot to offer us, and we trust you. How did you and Adrian meet, and what is your relationship? Knows it.
Hey, hey.
Mind your own
Hey,
business.
I'm gonna leave that up to A. She want to leave that a mystery, or she want to tell. You know what I'm saying?
Anybody that's been on these webinars know that when you start going down memory lane, it takes forever. So we're not even gonna go there. Just know
you saying I'm long-winded? Huh?
It's platonic, syndicator. That's my best friend. That's boss.
What does platonic mean?
Like brother and sister.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That describes us. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Well, hey, I ain't afraid to say when I don't know something.
Well, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, off-road.
She's one of the smartest people. She's one of the smartest people I know. That's real. You know, hey, brilliant.
Yeah. That sounds nice. I'm a Jackie of all trades, master of none, dibble dabble and everything. But hey, know a whole bunch about nothing. Let's see. Okay. If a seller owes $30,000, they can draw up a contract with you for $50,000 with an attorney, and you just make payments to the owner. Or if they owe very little, that's a conversation they was having amongst themselves. That ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm sorry. Let's see here. Is there ever an instance where you will partner with an investor on a property long term by bringing him the deal and he put the money up, collect rent, and forego wholesaling it?
Yeah, I'm open to stuff like that. The investors putting the money up.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I'm always open when somebody want to use their money. We can both make money as long as you're comfortable with. Obviously, there's always risk, but you want to be as secure as possible. That's part of what makes a real estate attractive is the property. It gives you some security as far as your money.
All right. Okay, guys. We'll take 3 more. 1 from Facebook, 1 from Instagram, and 1 from YouTube.
You may want to go to Instagram. We ain't gonna probably got that much more time on Instagram. You
okay.
Might want to go that first.
Instagram, Ty, what is your #1 marketing to get sellers?
Well, right now it's still abandoned signs, but the findsellers.net option is, I need a few more months of it because it's somewhat new. And so, but I'm very pleased with how fast you can generate a lead as long as you put the work in, then it's cheap, so, but right now, abandoned signs.
All right. What are your top 3 ways to do a wholesale deal to help a seller out?
I don't
the
know.
The seller might be in crunch time. They're giving you the deal of a day, but they got to do it quick. What's the top 3 ways to help the wholesale deal go fast?
Oh, you mean finding a buyer?
I guess. If you're helping the seller out, you got to be finding the buyer. Yeah.
I'm always I'm helping me too, but I don't understand the question. If you can get a little bit more detail on that one, if we have time.
All right, Edwin, clean that up. Going to Facebook. Can I wholesale anywhere in Alabama and find a cash buyer?
Well, Alabama, there's a lot of rural areas now. So the smaller the town, the less the people, meaning the harder it is going to, #1, find a great deal. But you could probably find a buyer, there's not going to be the hardest thing in a small town is finding a great deal. Because it's already hard to find one in a large city. And so, and even knowing what a great deal is in a small town, because a lot of times you don't have enough data to know, when I say data like comps, recent sales, to know if it's an actual deal. But it's possible, but just understand it's just going to be a little bit more difficult.
All right. That was our final question from Facebook. Waiting on Mr. Edwin to clear up the question on Instagram and on YouTube. We'll go with.
Yeah, we're about to end on Instagram. We got 45 seconds.
Flipman, how far away do you go from subject and how many months back to get comps? JP from ATL.
You can go. I normally go up to 12. Normally, I'm trying to look for 30 and 90 normally. So and that's going to depend on how often or how frequent the information comes from whatever source you're pulling it from, the county. But that's only going to be as good as what the county provides and how current it is. So start with 30, go up to 90, then 6 months, then obviously 12.
All right, and let's see here. This people want to know what. Let's see here. What's the name of your skip tracing class? And Instagram is down. So
yeah, it's just down now. It's finesellers.net.
Finesellers.net, guys. That was the final question from YouTube. Hope each and every one of you guys enjoyed it. We made up for the technical difficulties. We went, looks like about 37 minutes over. So I hope I got to everyone's question, or at least got a part of your question answered. If not, tune in next week. We'll be here. I'll be here. And Syndicator, if you can still hear this, yes and yes. Cut it out.
All right. Well, guys, thanks for joining us this week. It was a good one. We had some technical difficulties on my end this time. Somehow my laptop stopped charging and it just faded out, but we were still connected. And Adria held it down as why. Hey, she's a bad girl. So again, I don't know, we did in the house cleaning. So, you got the 200 plus videos that you can access right here on YouTube. Everything you need to know is in those videos. If you can't afford me or somebody like me, everything you need to know, you just need to buckle down and watch them. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on the notifications so you are alerted whenever new videos are uploaded, especially when we go live on YouTube every Thursday night at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 5 p.m. Mountain, 4 p.m. on the West Coast. I just uploaded a new video today. Make sure you check it out, pass it along, share it on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. It's called What is Wholesaling Houses? I think I'll put it in the notes in the comments here on this particular video. And again, if you need coaching, you need step-by-step course, flipman.net. Want a free copy of the contract that I offer, flipman.net. Also, just submit your name and phone number, and boom, a text will come back your way on where you can download the contract for free. Remember, I have the podcast at flipmanpodcast.com. And I said enough. I think I house clean enough. Oh, yeah. Follow me on Instagram, Snapchat at flipman.dotnet. That's flipman.net, flipman.dotnet. And on Twitter, the Flipman. So I think we got it in, baby. We went over a little bit to make up for the technical difficulties. So we will see you guys on the flip side.
On